Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, YAHAWAH, BaHaShem, YAHAWASHI, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, also known as the Lashawan Kwadash, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, BaHaShem, meaning in the name, YAHAWASHI, meaning He is our salvation, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. Yahweh, BaHaShem, YAHAWASHI will deliver us. Yahweh, BaHaShem, YAHAWASHI will deliver us from our enemies. This is Daniel 7 and verse 25. Excuse me. And it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. This is speaking of our enemy, particularly in this time Esau, the so-called white man, and shall wear out the saints. And when you go into that word wear, one of the definitions for wear is to harass. So when he begins his, campaign against the saints of the Most High, he's going to harass, he's going to wear out the saints of the Most High to the point that we're going to need, aid from on high. We're going to need the aid, the deliverance, the hedge from Yahweh, BaHaShem, YAHAWASHI. Okay? It says, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And he has done that. He has changed the times, and he's changed laws constantly. And this is going to be one of the mechanisms that he used and has used to wear out the saints of the Most High, okay? Because when he put these draconian laws into effect, it's going to be pretty much, if you have anything affiliated or associated with this truth, you're going to be looked as what? You're going to be looked as, public enemy number one. Okay? And it says, and they shall be given unto his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times. And we are in that last time with this rulership, under this Roman Empire revived as, Babylon the Great, which is America. This is the last time that this heathen is going to rule, pursuant to the dream that was, interpreted by Daniel in the second chapter, Daniel 2, okay? So this is the last time of this, heathen having, dominion over us in the capacity where he's going to be able to, wear out the saints, and not only that, but change the, times and laws, okay? So it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given unto his hands until a time and times and a dividing of times, okay? So things are going to, assumingly start to pick up when he starts to, really come with this, campaign against the Most High and his saints, okay? Speaking of the elect, all right? So because of this truth is going out at such a high power, he's going to have nothing but, he's going to have nothing left but to, come and try to wear out the saints of the Most High, okay? And when you go into that word wear, let's just go out. Let's just go there and get one of the definitions, okay? It's a Hebrew word, and it's the Hebrew word
Strong's H 1080. Belah.
Bala, okay? And one of the outline of biblical usage is to harass constantly, okay? So when he put these new, laws into effect, which they are constantly doing, one of these laws that he's going to put into effect is going to be to what? To constantly harass those that believe in this truth, okay? So he's going to wear out the saints of the Most High, all right? And we're going to need, deliverance on high from the Most High. Okay, that's why we have to continue to fight to stay into this truth all the way into the end. Because without this truth and without the hedge of the Most High through his only begotten Son, Yahawashi, we're going to fall victim to this, to this man's madness, okay? So going back to reading that, before we go to the next verse, it says, or the next precept, it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, okay? And you seeing that to a, you seeing it into an extent right now, through his campaign, that's already began, but it's really going to pick up and really flourish in the height of Jacob's trouble, okay? It says, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and a dividing of times, okay? So trust and believe, this last heathen, which is Esau, Edom, is not going to let up, okay? He's going to only get, intense. It's only going to get intense as we get closer to that end, all right? So that's why we need, deliverance on high, okay? That's why we are continuing to endure into this truth, because when he roll on us, we're going to need that, that power from on high, okay? And it tells us that, excuse me, in Jeremiah, is it Jeremiah? Salakia, Isaiah 59 in verse 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of Yahawah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, okay? Because when they pass these new laws, they're going to be, they're going to be justified in doing whatever it is that they do, okay? Whether it's, breach, breaking and entering, whether it's a silent knock, whether it's, breaching your your home front door, whatever it is to, round you up and to take you to these endurance camps, they're going to be justified under the laws that they're going to pass, okay? Because why? Like we read, they're going to look to wear out the saints of the Most High. They're going to be harassing us, those of us that believe, okay? So laws are going to be passed to benefit them in their campaign to come against the Most High and to wear out the saints, all right? So it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahawah shall lift up a standard against him. Right, so a standard will be lifted up against the enemy when he come in like a flood, okay? So some of us are going to have those spiritual powers here on this side, all right? Leading up into the deliverance of, the elect. Then when we come back down, all of us will have those spiritual powers. Speaking of the, 144,000, okay? So leading up into that, deliverance, Esau, Edom, this last heathen, is going to look to wear out the saints, okay? He's already putting things into law as we speak. I did a video on, there's a bill that's trying to be passed in legislation in Arizona that would allow the hunting of illegal or undocumented migrants, okay? And those undocumented migrants could easily be changed into, other things, okay? Particularly, people who trespass and what have you, okay? And when Jacob's trouble when Jacob's trouble is in its full, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be, trespassing on other people's property, looking for, foods and rations and things of that nature. And these firearm toting Americans are going to have the right to protect their home front, okay? So we're going to need all the help that we can get from on high, all right? That's why we continue to endure, because we're going to need deliverance from Yahawah Bahashim YAHAWASHI, all right? So it says, so shall they fear the name of Yahawah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahawah, okay? And that's why we continue to pray that the Most High don't remove the Holy Spirit from us, because we're going to need that spirit from Yahawah, okay? It says, the spirit of Yahawah shall lift up a standard against him, okay? So a standard, is going to be lifted up against this, this enemy when he come in like a flood, okay? Because he's going to presumably, take you from your homes at like the wee hours of the night. He may take you when you driving somewhere down a road and cause, a blockade and pick you up like that. However it may be, we're going to need that spirit from Yahweh to give us those, those spiritual powers, all right? So that's why we are enduring right now for that time, okay? Now this is, excuse me, this is Isaiah 40, and let's go down to verse 28. It says, hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting power, Yahawah, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint. Okay, we read that what? The enemy, speaking of Esau, Edom, is looking to wear out the saints. Okay, so we're going to need that power, okay? Because our strength, is going to faint, okay? But it says what? He giveth power to the faint, okay? We are the faint, okay? We are the ones that's feeble. We are the ones that need, strength from the Most High on high, okay? Excuse me, it says he giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increases strength. Okay, so we waiting on that strength to increase, okay? That's when, we're going to get that spiritual power, all right? So it says, even the youth shall faint and be weary, okay? So even the young man, the youth, they're going to faint and get weary. It says, and the young man shall utterly fail, Slakia, fall. So even the, young man, they're going to fall. But what does it say? But they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength, okay? And that's why we are fighting for this truth. That's why we are contending for this truth. That's why we are enduring for this truth, okay? It says, but they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagle, okay? Some of us are going to get those spiritual powers that we're going to be able to, just take off, okay? When the enemy gives pursuit, we're going to be able to just take off. It says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. Okay, this is that spiritual power that the Most High is going to, provide some of the brothers with on this side. Okay, it says, they shall run and not be weary. Right, because you remember, and what was it? In verse 29, it says, he giveth power to the faint. Okay. So Esau, Edom is looking to wear out the saints of the Most High, okay? But the Most High, Yahawah, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, in the name of his only begotten son, YAHAWASHI, is going to lift up a standard of us to receive these spiritual powers to escape from these enemies when they come in like a flood, all right? It says, but they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint, okay? So we're going to get those spiritual powers, okay? Those of us that believe and those of us that endure, okay? And that's why we are continuously fighting for this truth, because we're going to need all the help that we can get, all right? Trust and believe. Esau, Edom, this last heathen, is looking to wear out the saints of the Most High, okay? He's already doing that to a degree, with his, misinformation. He puts certain things out in the media so that we can report on it, and then when it doesn't come, it would to some detour them and have them to believe that these prophecies are never going to take place. But no, those of us that are chosen, we're going to continue to prophesy, okay? We're going to continue to bring out these reports, and eventually it's going to get to him to the fact or to the point where he's going to say, the hell with it, okay? They won't give up. They're relentless, okay? We're just going to go ahead and go about it and bring it, all right? And then he's going to really wear out the saints of the Most High. He's going to really start to harass, okay? You think right now, you having strikes on your videos and, certain things that the algorithm pick up and they won't allow to be said. When he really passed these laws and is justified in the eyes of the publics, in the eye of the public, he's really going to look to wear out the saints of the Most High, okay? We went into that word, and one of the definitions we read was harass constantly, okay? So that's going to be constantly harassing through his laws that he's going to pass, okay? Because we read that, all right? He changes times and laws. He's going to change the laws, okay? Because one of the laws that he has right now is what? First Amendment, freedom of speech, okay? So under that freedom of speech, you are allowed to say whatever you want to say. But if he changed that law, presumably whatever it is that you saying that was once deemed, freedom of speech, if it's deemed hate speech or whatever, he can, have you arrested or have you brought in or whatever it is that he may change that law to fit his narrative or his, whatever it is that he's looking to accomplish, okay? And we ultimately know what that is to get rid of the word and to bring down his wrath, okay? So he's going to look to change laws, okay? And another law, that these Egyptians, when I say Egyptians, I'm talking about Americans that, love to stand behind, is that Second Amendment, all right? So, the First Amendment is the one that, he really wants to, have some type of, alter, meaning for it or just to do away with it altogether, because under that freedom of speech, you're allowed to say just about whatever you want to say without no repercussions, okay? But if he changes those laws, he can pretty much, dictate the way the narrative is being spent, all right? So it says 31, but they that wait upon Yahawah shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint, okay? And that's why we waiting on the Most High, okay? Because we're going to need that strength. We're going to need the Holy Spirit in those days, okay? And Edom recognizes and knows that he has but a short time, so he can only continue to try to kick the can down the road for so much before he has to really, stage another one of these major incidents, okay? This is Revelation 12 and verse 12. And it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you. Okay, so he's going to come down, man. And when he does, trust and believe, if you don't have that hedge around you, you're going to feel the full brunt of it. It says, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, okay? Because what? Because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Okay, now he can change the narrative as much as he want, but we read, pursuant to that times and dividing of time that he has but a short time. Okay, that dividing of the time, that's shorter than the full times. Okay, so he has but a short time. Okay, and he's getting ready to make his move. Okay, he can throw off the 2/3 of our people by coming up with these narratives and then spinning them at the last second, but eventually he's going to have to pull that cord, okay? And when he does, he's coming down, okay? He's coming down with it, all right? He's going to look to wear out the saints of the Most High, okay? He's going to come with those laws. He's going to come with that constant harassment, and then, he's going to move in, okay? We read that in Isaiah the 59th chapter, the 19th verse. When the enemy should come in like a flood, the Most High Yahawah is going to lift up a standard, okay? So we're going to need that aid, that help from on high when he makes his move, okay? Now this is Luke 9. In verse 62. And it reads, and Yahawah said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. So we got to continue to plow, man. If you want that aid from on high, that deliverance, that, standard to be lifted when the enemy should come in like a flood, you got to keep pushing. You got to keep that hand on that plow, man, and keep, moving forward, okay? Because taking your hand off that plow and looking back, that's your standard being removed from off of you, okay? And without that standard being lifted, you're going to be just like a regular 2/3, subject to whatever, judgment that's coming from this man, all right? So that's why we got to continue to move forward and keep our hand on that plow and continue to do the work, all right, until the end, all right? So that's why we're going to, pray that the Most High keep the Holy Spirit on us and keep us moving forward and keep us enduring all the way up until the end. Mark 13:13 tells us what? That he that endureth to the end, see? Mark 13:13. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Okay? Esau is going to set those laws, man, and he's going to look to wear out the saints. He's going to look to harass the saints of the Most High constantly, to the fact that all men are going to hate the men of the Most High. Okay? Why? Because Esau is going to paint the narrative that we are the reason why this economy is tainting and is in the turmoil, and that all that is going, to hell in the handbasket, to the fact that everyone is going to hate the men of the Most High, okay? Everyone is going to hate the elect, the Israelite man, okay? But what? It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. So just for you calling on the names and knowing the names, those that you were once, close to, they're going to associate you with those that are now being, painted as public enemy number one. The reason why this place is in such turmoil as it is, and they're going to come after you, and they're going to, report you to the appropriate authorities, and it's going to get you looked at and scrutinized under a microscope more and more, okay? So they feel to the need that they have enough built up on you that they can bring you in or try to take you out in the process of bringing you in, okay? So it says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, okay? And the end for some of us is going to have to be for some of us to give up our life for this truth. Pursuing the Revelation, the 20th chapter, the 4th verse. The 4th verse. Some of us are going to be martyrs for this truth, okay? But we have to endure unto the end. It says what? The same shall be saved, okay? And we're going to be saved, okay? Whether we are taken out on this side, via by the way of the guillotine or some other type of measurement, or whether we endure, we're going to be saved, okay? We're going to receive that deliverance, because those of us that perish for this truth, we're going to be the first ones that are raised up and to meet YAHAWASHI in the sky, okay? So you got to endure, man. Brace yourself. Know that this man is getting ready to come with great wrath. He's going to look to wear out the saints. He's going to constantly harass us. He's going to constantly set, to change times and laws to fit his narrative so that he can be justified in the eyes of the public when he do roll on us, and, trust and believe the Most High is going to lift up a standard, okay? He's going to, give some of us on this side, speaking of this last kingdom, spiritual powers to handle this man, okay? So we have to endure, okay? We have to continue to keep our hand on that plow and don't look back, all right? It tells us when we look back that what? Proverbs 26:11, it says, as a dog returneth to his vomit. Okay, this is when you look back. It says, as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. When you look back and go back into your folly, it is as if a dog returneth to his vomit, okay? And for the most part, what dogs do when they return to their vomit. They lap it up, okay? And that's exactly how you look when you look back and you take your hand off that plow and you return back to your folly, okay? So, we're going to need, aid from on high. We're going to need that deliverance, that hedge. We're going to need that standard to be lifted up when the enemy should come in like a flood, all right? Because they're going to come in. I know you look outside right now and you don't see anything of that magnitude that can happen, but everything could change in the blink of an eye. Just remember back in 2020, how they started off with, the narrative that just give us a week, give us 2 weeks to get a hold on things. And then you seen where it went from there, okay? So presumably things could, bam, take off just like that again, okay? And if you don't have this truth this time around, you're not going to be able to have easy access to it and to figure out what's going on, okay? because he's going to change these laws. Well, one of the laws that you have right now is freedom of speech to a degree. He tries to, he tries to manage that on these social media platforms. But if he gets around to it where everything that is deemed freedom of speech can be, erased or eliminated, then you're going to be left in the dark, all right? And that's not going to be a pretty sight with a with a devouring lion right behind you that you can't see, okay? So that's why we are praying for the Most High to keep us in this truth and to have us to endure all the way up into the end, all right? So let's go ahead and close out, and let's take it from there. 1 Peter 5 and 8. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, and it reads, be sober, be vigilant, okay? That's why we, harp on doing the work, enduring, trying to keep these laws, statute, commandments to the best of your ability, okay? Understanding that it's not that you keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments that's going to deliver you, but YAHAWASHI that will deliver us, but showing our obedience will go a long way in those times that we're going to need leading up into YAHAWASHI delivering us, okay? So that's why we say, keep these laws, statute, commandments to the best of your ability, along with the faith in Yahawah Bahashim YAHAWASHI, all right? So be sober, be vigilant, okay? Constantly look out, okay? Because it's going to come a time where this devil makes his move, and if you're not constantly being vigilant and keeping up with this truth, keeping in this word, you're going to be left out in the dark. And we're going to read in this next verse what could happen to you. It says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about. So he's not even going to be running, okay? Because as you know, a lion has better sight than most of his prey at night. So if you in the dark and you don't have any idea what's coming behind you, there's no need for this devouring lion to run after you. He can just walk at a steady pace, because eventually you're going to trip up and fall, and he's going to hear that, and he's going to know that's lunchtime or dinner time, and he's not going to look for no, give me one more chance. No, it's going to be it. It's devouring time, okay? That's what devour means, to consume. So it says, because your adversary, the devil, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour, okay? So that's his whole objective, to see who he can devour. That's why we praying to the Most High that, when those days come, that, we be part of that number when he lift up a standard, when Esau, Edom rolls in under his regime, his rulership, when he send those troops, to come in, that, if it be the Most High will, Yahawah Bahashim YAHAWASHI, that he lift up a standard that if it's part of our lot, that we receive those spiritual powers, okay? So that's why we continue to hark on, repent, turn back from your wicked ways, because you don't have all the time in the world like you believe. Everything can change at the drop of a dime, okay? So, endure with this truth, man, because this truth is what's going to, guide you in the direction that you need once the lights go out here in Babylon the Great, which is America, all right? So, with that being said, I pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the good Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom. Peace.